This session will be on the Network of Networks, brought to you by student members of the London Schools Eco Network, which was founded in 2019. They will talk live about their experiences setting up and running a youth-led network representing over 14 secondary schools from across the capital. Schools in Berkshire, Surrey, Bath, Birmingham and beyond have been inspired to set up similar networks. Find out how to set up your own group so we can form a network of networks across the UK to tackle the climate and ecological crises together.
Hello everyone, we are running a session today called a Network of Networks. So I'm Dr. Jessica Tipton, a secondary teacher of languages and founder of the London Schools Eco Network. And today we've got students and staff from the London, Berkshire and Midlands Schools Eco Networks here to talk to you about setting up a network. Our aim is to reach out to other existing or potential groups of schools to join our growing network of networks. So if I could first of all ask each network in turn to come off mute, to say hi all together and give us a wave. So starting with the London Schools Eco Network. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
And now if I could ask the Berkshire Schools Eco Network to say hi and give us a wave.
Whoa.
Hi.
Hi.
And finally, the Midlands Schools Eco Network, the baby of the group at the moment.
Hello. Hello.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just a very quick intro to the background of these schools' eco networks. So I will share my screen. Okay, so we have this model that we've been working up since the London Schools Eco Network started up in 2019. And I'll just say how we started. So it all started with two schools, so a state school and an independent school in London, so Hammersmith Academy and St Paul's Girls' School. And they did some visits to each other's schools, so you can see us there visiting the amazing student-run gardens at Hammersmith Academy. And you might have heard about them in Dr. Patrick Kerwan's session on eco-leadership on Monday morning. This then grew to a handful of secondaries in West London. There you've got the students meeting the youth activist, Noga Levi-Rappaport. We did some primary workshops together. This is the amazing Ship of Tolerance, which give it a Google if you hadn't heard about that. Some of the students did some joint articles about some of the things that they had been working on together. And these were some of the events, Careers Forum, and then some virtual events as we went into lockdown. And ironically, despite not being able to meet in person, actually the London network has been really growing since lockdown in March. So they went over to Zoom meetings. We're now up to around 20 schools. They're students mostly from year 10 and up, state and private, mixed boys and girls schools, students from different backgrounds and from different parts of London. So it's student-led, but it's all safeguarded, and we have staff there to facilitate and to advise. We've also got a staff group, and that brings together like-minded souls from London and beyond. So there's our first meeting. And we had some eco-anxiety teacher training with psychotherapist Caroline Hickman and the amazing Clover Hogan, who you've probably heard from this week. We have some resources we've compiled together, a newsletter, and we find this a really useful source of support for each other. And the staff are from teaching roles, non-teaching, all from different parts of different schools. We've now had some students from different parts of the UK observing the meetings, and that's what's led to the Berkshire and now the Midlands groups setting up. We've had some students from South Africa observing, and also Surrey, Yorkshire, Bristol and Bath, we're talking to them about setting up networks. So I think that's probably enough from me. So let's hear from some of the students. So here we have Tian, who's in year 12 at the school that I teach in, St Paul's Girls' School. And she's just going to give an idea about some of the things that the London group's done. So I've just got a couple of slides there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dr. Tipton pretty much said a lot of what we already do. Hopefully I can provide a more like personal explanation of what we do in the network. So really what I find with London Schools Eco Network is it's driven by a bunch of secondary school students' passion for the environment, and we all come together, brainstorm ideas, initiatives, projects we want to do. Some stuff we've been doing this term is we've really been active on our social media accounts. We've created a fast fashion webinar for people to participate in. And we've also done newsletters, drafts for letters to send to MPs. And what I find is sort of my favorite part of the London Schools Eco Network is we have meetings fortnightly. So we routinely see the same faces, and you get quite comfortable and familiar with these people. And every week that goes by, we just become more and more open about our plans for the environment. And so, yeah, I hope that helps.
Great, thanks, Tian. And now if I could ask Cosmo to say a little bit about the Berkshire group.
Hi, yes, so the Berkshire Schools Eco Network is sort of the latest one that's been properly set up. So Phoebe and I and a couple of other students in September were asked whether we'd like to help set up the Berkshire Schools Eco Network, which is made up of 10 private and state secondary schools in Berkshire. And since then, we've been really successful. So we spent most of this term trying to collaborate and get other schools involved in our network, and that's been fantastic. So I think we have about 10 now, which is obviously absolutely superb. And we've been collaborating on quite a few different projects. We've got quite a few ideas that we'd like to do. So, for example, we're going to hopefully send out a newsletter, a logo competition, and we've obviously been working up to this Youth Climate Summit, for which we did a presentation on Wednesday, which was broadcasted on food farming and forests. So it's collaborating with like-minded people has been absolutely fantastic, and we're doing really well. So.
Amazing, yeah, well done, guys. And now Advait is going to say a few words about the newest group, the Midland Schools Eco Network.
Thanks, Dr. Tipton. Within 5 days of reaching out, we've got enthusiastic responses from 10 schools, and that's only going to grow over time. In the next few weeks, we're going to help these schools set up their own eco committees and commit to the Green Flag Award. We're going to share our 80-point sustainability plan, and we're going to have Zoom meetings to discuss new ideas and organise new initiatives. From tree planting to influencing primary schools to a Sustainability Awareness Week, most things are still possible, even with coronavirus regulations. We're really excited to hear the Midlands because there's so much potential for massive change in transport, heating, paper use, waste, not only in the long term, but in the next few months and even weeks. Thanks.
Great, what a manifesto. Good luck to the Midlands. It's brilliant to have you on board. So I'm now going to ask, first of all, the London students. So we have Tian, we have Clara, and I can see Ardash there, who are just going to have a little chat about some of the things they've got out of being in the network. So Tian, if you just want to kick things off and then hand over to the other guys.
So when I started sort of being involved with the London Schools Eco Network, it was my first year. I was new at school. I was also new on the environmental committee. So it was all very like fresh, and I wasn't sure what exactly we were going to be doing. I was a bit nervous as well. But upon arrival, everyone was just so encouraging, positive, lovely. And I think it really served to make me feel confident and optimistic about our future. So on top of having like physical agendas, which we achieved, it's also sort of an emotional support network. And I was wondering if Clara or Ardash wanted to elaborate on that.
I agree. I think it's easy to feel quite frustrated within a confined school environment, and solving the climate crisis proving to be all about making connections. whether that's with people in different environments or across the world or in different subjects to you. And the diverse range of experiences and ideas that are to be found in the network are so inspiring, and it's amazing to feel so galvanized to action in that way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think bouncing ideas between different schools is always great because every school does things differently and every school has a different attitude towards climate change. And just to have the platform to kind of affect change in the wider community, as well as in our own schools, I found that really, really great. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I think building on what Ardash said, I have one particular memory of this girl I was talking to in London School's Eco Network, and she mentioned how she was sort of the only person in her school who cared about the environment. And she tried emailing teachers, emailing her head teacher about joining, I think it was the Let's Go Zero campaign, and just none of them would have any response. I think her joining the London Schools Eco Network was just a brilliant opportunity for her to be able to speak to more voices and therefore feel like she could have her voice heard. So I was wondering if Clara or Ardash wanted to talk about their experience in school and maybe how that compares to their experience in London Schools Eco Network.
I agree. I think especially at the time of coronavirus, when people may be struggling to make connections, it's so special to feel that as though you're part of a network that can facilitate those connections with other schools, and in doing so strengthen the collective voice of the students and maybe help to put pressure on people who are in charge of making eco decisions at a school level, and also then, as we've seen throughout this week, at a policy level.
Definitely, yeah. So I joined the network, I think maybe a month and a half ago. And already I've had so many ideas from just meetings that we've had. And it's been really amazing to see the changes that we're thinking about, not just in our own schools, but things like this, things like the Youth Climate Summit and opportunities like that. They're really amazing. And we get to kind of see the different range of ideas that everyone has. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. I think that's really useful for everybody to hear. So if I could now ask the Berkshire Schools Eco Network to do the same. So I think Cosmo will kick off, and then we've got Ophelia, and we've got Phoebe, I think.
Yeah, so just to pick up on Tian's point, in September when I got an email saying, would you like to be part of this Berkshire Schools Eco Network, working with schools and in particular Phoebe, it was quite a daunting prospect because obviously I was collaborating directly with schools that I hadn't done so before. And actually, it was such a pleasant surprise because everyone involved in these eco networks, they're by definition really passionate and really active. So I think it's just been absolutely fantastic. It's been a fantastic opportunity to collaborate with schools that otherwise we wouldn't necessarily have done so directly, because we can make more of a difference together. And I'll hand over to Phoebe because I know that for her that's been particularly important.
Yeah, so I personally have felt the Berkshire School Eco Network has been incredibly important to me because, especially that I go to a school where there aren't many people who have the same sort of passion as me for the environment. So coming to a situation where there's loads of people who share that passion is just brilliant. Especially, I think it's felt throughout the society, through the group, because everyone, like, it just doesn't make you feel alone anymore because you have a way to express yourself where you won't be pushed down for your ideas. You'll be like, you know, you'll be brought up for it, and you'll be like, you'll be supported all the way through. And I just feel so supported here, which is amazing, which I haven't felt before. So, Ophelia?
Yeah, I'm also still relatively new to the network, but it's just been such an inspiring and positive atmosphere so far. And as Phoebe and Cosmo kind of said, it allows individuals who aren't supported by their school to collaborate with like-minded people. And it has the ability to create initiatives and projects which a single school wouldn't be able to do because of resource and time constraints.
Amazing. Great to hear from you guys. And now I'm going to ask if just some of the staff who've been involved could just say a few very quick words. We are short of time, unfortunately, but I wondered if I could ask Ms. Romero, who was critical in setting up the Berkshire Network, if she could start off.
Yes, thank you. It has been great for us, a great journey, a massive experience, an absolute pleasure to collaborate with the London Schools Eco Network and discover them, and then find this initiative to create something that other schools can belong to or individuals. To have her voice heard, this is a platform open for everyone to really put out their leadership skills there and act, call for action.
Amazing. Mr. Butler, are you there just to say a few words from the Midlands perspective? If you're still there with us. Oh, right. Mr. Fussy, perhaps you could add a few words about Berkshire.
Yeah, thank you very much. What an inspiring meeting so far. I mean, I think we all know when we are interested in the environment, how important community is and how important biodiversity is. And I think what we really value from the Berkshire Schools Eco Network is the sense of community that it gives us and the diversity that we get, diversity of ideas, diversity of support, which you've already heard for, and just the momentum that we need in order to make things happen. So we're absolutely thrilled to be part of this and to be making progress. And thank you very much for your inspiration as well. Thank you. Brilliant.
Well, yeah, I definitely get a lot from being able to talk to other members of staff wherever they are, and it's really unifying. So thank you, everybody, and we had a real fun time preparing for doing this this live session. So yeah, I think it's a real tonic to be able to get together like this, students and staff. So we're now going to move on to our closing messages. So I think, unfortunately, we might have lost the Midlands. I'm just going to double check if they've managed to dial back in. No, we've lost the Midlands. Oh, they're here. They are here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again, and we have some messages to finish our session with. So here we go. So Advait, if you're there, are you able to give us our vision statement? Oh. Right, I'm going to ask Tian if she wouldn't mind reading out the vision statement.
Hi,
yeah.
Hello.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
he's here. Go for it then.
So, our vision is a network of schools eco networks across the UK and with links abroad, working together on campaigns and initiatives to tackle climate change and support the environment.
Fantastic. And then Ophelia is going to tell us an action to take.
So if everybody here today finds a friend or a teacher in a different school to work together on environmental issues.
And finally, over to Ardash for a call for world leaders on COP26.
So we're calling for world leaders and those at COP26 to enable and promote environmental collaboration between young people and their teachers, as together is stronger.
Brilliant. So we hope people would like to join us. We've been through the process ourselves, so we can give you tips. You could come and join one of our meetings, and there's the Twitter and Instagram for the London Schools Eco Network, and there's my email as well if you want to get in touch. And we are looking for a name for this UK-wide Schools Eco Network. Nothing quite works so far, so looking for ideas for that. So I will stop sharing and ask if everybody who's here could together come off mute and say goodbye and thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.